Hey there, everybody. I am Angela Sharpe, and welcome to the Daily Mix. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on in and around St. Louis, basically keeping you in the mix. Now, did you hear this? The end of the world was supposed to happen this past Wednesday. E-Bible Fellowship predicted the end of the world. They said the whole world was going to be nothing here. Some people were a little worried. Me, not so much. I mean, it is Monday now, and we're still here, so they were clearly wrong. Previously, they had claimed May 21st, 2011 was going to be the end of the world, and they were wrong about that one too. So, I mean, eventually, if you keep guessing, you might eventually be right. Now, did you hear this cool story? Tom Hanks, he found a student's ID. Now, this girl, Lauren, she had lost her ID after she took a run in Central Park. And I guess Tom Hanks was just wandering about Central Park, and he found it. He sent her a tweet. Hey, Lauren, I found your student ID in the park. If you need it back, my office will be able to get it to you. Now, he also put a picture of her ID there. Now, Tom has returned the ID with a note. Of course, she wanted her ID back because Tom Hanks had it. And the note said, Lauren, hold on to this. And then he signed his name. I mean, that right there, that's totally awesome. And I would hold on to that forever. I think that's pretty cool. All right, now let's get started on today's Daily Mix. The Science Center Planetarium was lit blue on Thursday. Of course, that was for my favorite holiday, Blues home opener. Of course, we had a great time in the Blues home opener. First of all, there was a pep rally outside. There was Kelly Chase and Chris Kerber, John Kelly, and of course, Blues legend Bobby Plager all took the stage. Also taking the stage was that really cool host there at the Blues. What's her name? Oh, that's me, Angella. And the Blue Crew was there. We gave away some tickets. There was autographed pucks. And then when you got inside, we had an opening ceremony kind of thing, kind of talking about how, when you grow up, you want to be a hockey player, and then you get to be, you had to be there. It was really, really cool. Now, a lot of fans really liked it when we had our honorary puck drop, and that was by Yadier Molina. Now, you might say the captain of the Cardinals, he came and dropped the puck at our Blues home opener. And yes, it gave us some good luck because the Blues won their home opener. Yay, go Blues. Don't worry, plenty more Blues news as we go through this season. Now, the planetarium was blue on Thursday, but it went red on Saturday, and that was for the Cardinals. The Science Center actually kind of had a Twitter feud, okay? Now, at Chicago Field Museum, they have like this brontosaurus outside, and her name is Sue, and she always dresses up in whatever cool playoff gear. So typically it's Blackhawks gear because they're always in the playoffs. So she tweeted at the Science Center, "Sup?" Now, the Science Center, they responded with, "The funny thing is that the brontosaurus was alive the last time the Cubs won the World Series." That's pretty funny. I like that, right? Then she said, "See you tonight." Now, Sue, she kind of had a low blow. Her next tweet to us, kind of rude. She said, "The nice thing about living in a big city is you usually don't have to wait long for a championship," and posted a photo with the Stanley Cup, which I'm super jealous of. And now Sue, she's on my list. The Cubs versus Cardinals NLDS. Now, this is the first time the Cubs and Cardinals have faced off. They took on the field Friday at Busch Stadium. We won. I was there. I take credit for that. Some good luck. And then they played again Saturday at Busch Stadium, and they lost. Today, they're in Chicago, and they'll be in Chicago Tuesday. They'll be right back here in St. Louis on Thursday if needed. Now, the last time I checked the score was the top of the fifth, and we were tied at 2-2. Now, St. Louis is the ultimate baseball town. The Wall Street Journal says so. Mozeliak, Matheny, and fans are what draw players to the Cardinals. In 2013, shortstop Johnny Peralta, he jumped to sign the Cardinals. He was actually being shopped around, and he stopped when he heard the Cardinals wanted him. He said, "Hey, no, make that deal work." He said it's a great chance to win, and they have very dedicated fans. Johnny had some issues with some steroid issues back in the day. He figured Cards fans would forgive him and cheer him on, and he was right. Actually, play improved for him as he became a Cardinal. So that's pretty cool that numbers kind of show that people perform better when they are with the Cardinals. Now, Jake Arrieta is on the mound today for the Cubs. He's their ace pitcher. He's originally born in Farmington, Missouri. He didn't grow up here, he grew up in Texas, but it's still cool that he was born in Farmington, Missouri. You kind of want him to do a little well. You still want us to do better, but how cool would it be if he was a Cardinal? Can you imagine how good it would have been then? Now, third baseman Matt Carpenter, he stopped by Lift for Life Academy to surprise an 8th grader, Amon Anderson. He surprised him with postseason tickets and personalized cards and merchandise. He was elected by his teachers for doing a great job in school. Now, his family was there to surprise him too. I think they really just wanted to see Matt Carpenter. Cardinals Care recognized the hard work for Lift for Life students and the importance of family and community to children's education. All right, now this story is so neat. Okay, I kind of want one of these for myself, but I doubt anybody would make it for me. There's a Stan Musial Rubik's Cube memorial. It's kind of a mural. It's got like 3 photos of Stan the Man. What happened is Connor Wright, a senior at St. Louis Priority School, he set his computer up with these 3 photos of Stan the Man. And then he decided what he needed to do and how he would need to turn his Rubik's Cubes. Now, he used nearly 6,000 Rubik's Cubes, and it took, of course, several weeks to match the cubes and the colors and where he needed to go to fit his computer design. He said it wasn't too hard until he got to about 4,000, and about 4,000, then his wrists really start to hurt. Apparently, turning that many Rubik's Cubes really hurt. Now, he did this for a senior project, but I'm gonna add a little plot twist. He actually asked to Homecoming, one of Stan Musial's granddaughters, and she says yes, of course. I mean, how are you gonna say no to that? The guy just made a whole mural to your grandfather. I think you have to go with him to Homecoming. Maybe they knew each other before. I don't know, I'll get more details later. Now, of course, everybody is talking about football and the Rams. The proposed NFL Stadium, National Car Rental, has secured naming rights for it. It'll be National Car Rental Field. Now, they signed a 20-year agreement for a total investment of $158 million. Now, the deal is dependent on the NFL team actually playing in the stadium, and the global company was founded right here in St. Louis in 1957, so that's kind of cool. I know a lot of people are very passionate about the Rams and keeping football in St. Louis, so those naming rights and all those $1 million have got to help. All right, now everybody who's ever driven through or by or near Arnold knows about the Arnold water tower. Now, the Arnold residents are fighting the water tower. They're trying to change the color. The water company, they actually need to paint it. They tried to clear coat, it didn't work, so they need to paint it. They don't want to paint it green though. It's known for being green. They want to paint it blue so it blends into the skyline. Well, of course, there's an online petition started called #KeepItGreen. It's all over social media. The people of Arnold it's kind of a landmark to them. They like it. They like that it doesn't blend into the skyline. Now, the manager of the Public Water Supply District Number 1 says it's too late to stop the paint dry, which is weird because they hadn't started doing it when he said that, but he said it's too late, it's gonna be blue. Makes me sad, but now I guess it'll blend into the skyline. St. Louis is topping some other food lists these days. Thrillist has the best 33 pizza shops in America. And there's a shop on the list here in St. Louis, Frank and Helen's in U-City. I've actually never been there, but they've made the list again. They always make the list, and they say the cheesy garlic bread is an added bonus. Apparently there's Provel cheese on it, and it's just delicious. And if I wasn't making you hungry enough, congrats to Chef Bob Colosimo. He's the executive chef of 1111 Mississippi. 1111 Mississippi is probably one of my favorite restaurants here in St. Louis. He was named Chef of the Year 2016 by the St. Louis chapter of the American Culinary Federation. Now, he competed last week with other top chefs from around the area, and yes, he won. He wins. Now, I know a lot of people talk about the selfies, right? Always taking pictures of the selfies. In fact, I'm sure you saw all those sorority girls at one of those last games, baseball games, and they were all taking selfies and they got made fun of. Well, what if you could pay via selfie? MasterCard is testing Selfie Pay. They're testing this app in California, and it was developed at the MasterCard Global Technology Headquarters, which is right here in O'Fallon, Missouri. Now, the tests are gonna run through the rest of the month, and they're not sure when or really if it'll be available to the public, but it's pretty cool. So when you go to pay something, to confirm it, you have to take a selfie. Now, they've tried it out on some people, and of course, if you send somebody else's face, the app says no, it has to be your face. They've also been testing out fingerprinting and voice recognition technology, which is kind of neat. The only downside is you have to always be camera ready, for your selfie. Now, there's a really cool condo for sale, and it's not just like anybody else's condo. It was designed, built, and lived in by Bob Castley. You know him, he designed the Cine Museum, and this thing is awesome. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, 2,824 square feet. Now it's got a unique view, but that's really not the selling point. It's got granite and metal art. What's the coolest thing for me? It has a slide. I've always wanted my house to have a slide. This one has one right there. There's a slide. Now it's cash only, and it's about $250,000, and I just don't have that quite yet, so I'm gonna have to pass it up. You know, he also created Turtle Park over there by the zoo, so pretty cool stuff. Now, if you know me, this is an event you know that I'm definitely going to check out. It was sent to me on Facebook, and I think it's really cool. It's the world's biggest eye contact experiment. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to share eye contact with 1 minute with strangers in public. It's supposed to rebuild a sense of humanity. Now, it's created by the Liberators International, and it's happening in cities all over the world. They're gonna have signs there that say, "Where has the human connection gone?" Now, you're gonna share 1 minute of eye contact to find out where humanity's gone. They encourage you to bring a blanket or 2 cushions or 2 chairs, or if you wanna do standing eye contact, you can do hula hoops. It's happening here in St. Louis this Thursday at 5 p.m. in Kirchner Plaza downtown. Now, if you follow on Facebook, they have Facebook, the world's biggest eye contact event /St. Louis for us. Like I said, they're doing this all over the world, and then they're gonna put together in Australia, they're gonna put clips of all the different cities together because they're doing this everywhere. It's gonna be wicked cool. Now, after that, you can join more strangers at the St. Louis Public Library's Not So Quiet concert. Their AZDZ, that's a tribute band for AC/DC, they're gonna be performing the entire Highway to Hell album cover all the way through. It's totally free. This is happening at Central's Auditorium on Thursday at 7, and seating is first come, first served. slpl.org. Yes, it's the most frightful time of the year, and all the kids love the zoo, and they love Halloween. It's time for Boo at the Zoo, Boo at the Zoo nights. You can explore the zoo after dark. It's a kid-friendly Halloween. Now, costumes are allowed, however, adults are not allowed to wear masks or any face paint. They're gonna have a haunted hollow, they'll have a Master Weaver's giant web, they'll have a forest fairyland, mystery straw maze, they have fireside stories, and a whole lot more. It's nightly. It started this Friday, and it goes all the way through October 30th from 5:30 to 8:30. You can check out stlzoo.org. And now joining me, I have somebody who knows everything there is to know about Halloween, the guy who has got everything going on. It's Larry Kirchner. He's the president of Halloween Productions, and more locally to us, that means Darkness, Creepy World, all that fun stuff, right?
And the Abyss, yeah.
And the Abyss, yeah. So at pretty much any haunted house here in St. Louis, you're controlling.
Right.
You're running that.
Yeah.
So first, let's start back. What got you started in wanting to do this?
Actually, I wanted to make movies.
Okay.
Okay, and I didn't live in Los Angeles. So I thought, you know, it'd be kind of fun to do a haunted house because it's kind of like, it actually is like making a movie in a lot of ways. So, you know, and then one thing led to another, and then we eventually moved to the city and opened the Darkness. And people started coming to me asking me if we could build them haunted houses, and now we're building them all over the world.
Yeah, I had noticed your company is taking care of haunted houses everywhere. You've got a magazine, also everything to do with Halloween, which is really cool. But people watching locally, they want to know more. Now, The Darkness has been number 10 on America's 15 scariest on the Travel Channel's best Halloween places, right?
Yeah, it's actually the most nationally covered haunted house in the world.
The Darkness is the most covered, and you said Mythbusters was there recently.
Yeah, Mythbusters was just there like 2 weeks ago. They filmed a show called, where they're trying to do the science behind scaring people, and we actually put them in costume, the characters, and then they acted in the haunted house, and they scared people all night. So people didn't even know it, but they were being scared. But
right, they didn't even know they were being scared by some cool people from the Mythbusters.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of celebrities. We had Myra Ray Cyrus.
Oh.
She came through the haunted house. I don't know, it was like 5 years ago when she was on tour. When they did their show, and her brother was opening act, and they just brought the whole tour buses over when we were technically closed, and they all went through. And I mean, it's, you know, there's been people come from all over the world because it is the most documented haunted house. Matter of fact, on YouTube, there's one video on YouTube of it that has 1 million views.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane, and that's really cool. And The Darkness is one everybody talks about, but you're also doing Creepy World, which has got all the different, there's so many different things you can do at Creepy World.
Well, Creepy World is the one that I work at, but Creepy World is really cool because there's 13 different attractions, and It takes well over an hour to go through it. It's super long, and we added 2 new haunted houses. One is called Molly Madeline's Dollhouse.
This is the one I'm most excited about, the dollhouse.
Well, we did a video on it, and then we tried to promote it on YouTube, and it got flagged for it was too extreme, for YouTube.
It was too extreme for
Yeah,
YouTube.
it was
so
banned.
if you want to see it,
It was banned.
It's too extreme for YouTube, but you can go see it live in action
Yeah,
over there
you
at
can
Creepy
go
World.
Yeah, exactly.
And what else do you have at Creepy World? You have another new thing too.
We built a graveyard.
That's right.
And one of the things that we pride ourselves on, because we build all kinds of attractions, we also build mini golfs and all kinds of other stuff, but everything we do is like, like a Disney quality level, Hollywood movies quality. So when we built these 2 new haunted houses at Creepy World, because it's outside, we wanted to do something that we could do outside that kind of fit Creepy World, because there's no like buildings there, like in the darkness. So in the darkness, we can work for, 6 months on building one scene. And so we wanted to do something at Creepy World that we could make look so authentic like we do at the darkness. That's why we did the graveyard, because the graveyard's outside, exposed to the...
Right.
And when you walk through it, there's no way and no way that you're gonna say it's not real. It looks like a real graveyard.
That's insane.
Yeah, and we filmed a really crazy video in there where we had these grave diggers show up and they were trying to dig up somebody's body. And we put the video on YouTube and we said grave robbers rob grave, and immediately like 30,000 people watched it. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome. Now you also have the Abyss, which is over there at the Lemp Mansion, and everybody knows the story of the Lemp. What can people look forward to at the Abyss?
The funny thing, what we try to do with all 3, the darkness is like being in a Hollywood movie. So like, for example, we'll have you come by and you can pretend you're Jamie Lee Curtis for a minute, and she could relive her days from the fog and Halloween and being stabbed and everything. So when you come to the darkness, you really feel like you're really there. Okay, you feel like this is like a real authentic movie set. And we've had people rent the facility to shoot in.
And, that's awesome. Didn't know that people did that.
Matter of fact, Travel Channel was just here. They were doing an Exorcist documentary.
Yes.
And they wanted to use the darkness to film in. And then, so that's the darkness, and it's got 200 and something animations and effects, and oh my God, it's crazy. And then Creepy World is a screen park, so it's like gigantic. It has a hayride.
Place is huge.
It's huge. And then the Abyss was like, how can you make it different than the other 2? So you actually go down this spiral staircase, which half the people they don't even make it into the haunted house, because the spiral staircase is scary by itself, because it just goes down and you can never see.
You can't see what's going. Oh, that would actually frighten me. That's the Abyss is the only one I haven't been to.
It's multiple levels down, and it just keeps going, and then people just stop. And then the whole haunted house stops. We got to go down the steps. Look, you got to go down or you got to come up. Okay, but you've stopped the whole thing.
Right, you can't just stop.
But the haunted house, what people don't realize is like, Anheuser-Busch and Lemp and Falstaff and all these breweries were located like right next to each other, because you could spit from Lemp to Anheuser-Busch. Back before they had refrigeration, they built all these breweries in that little area because there's cave system under there, which it used to actually have an amusement cave attraction like Merrimack Cave.
Right.
But it was put out of business when they built the Highway 55, because they blew up half the caves. Well, Anheuser-Busch, Lemp, all these people sitting on top of real caves and caverns. So these Germans came in there and carved them out and made this like Gothic castle look down there, and it looks like it's right out of a Bela Lugosi movie. So when you go down to the Abyss, you're literally in a place where no one can hear you scream. No one could, and you can't see anything. So we decided to play on that and like not have it as like a haunted house, like a typical one. We're having it as like there's hardly no lights. You don't know how to find your way through. We have chicken call-outs. You say William Lemp, which is the original owner, and if you say William Lemp, somebody comes and gets you and takes you out. And people just get in there and they panic because you can smell the mustiness. It's a real cave.
This actually sounds so. That's the only one I haven't been to, and you've made it sound so frightening.
Yeah, and people are really afraid, but it does the least amount of people out of the 3. But in a lot of ways, it's the scariest for some people.
Gosh, I'm already scared just of thinking about that. That is really cool. The craziness of it. You need to check out these haunted houses. You can check out, we've got the Darkness, Creepy World, the Abyss at the Lemp Brewery. You can check out scarefest.com and find out more information on all of those. I'm so glad you joined us to talk all this fun haunted house. Larry, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
And make sure you check him out and all his creepiness. You can check us out, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can drop us a line right here at the Daily Mix at stltv.net. We want to hear from you. If you go to one of these haunted houses, drop me a line. Let me know how crazy and scary it was, especially if you go to the Abyss, because it sounds terrifying. That's going to do it for the Daily Mix, but keep it right here on STL TV. and experience St. Louis.